Hello, and welcome all to your weekly assembly. Last week's theme was all about resilience, and to build on that, I'd like to start this week by asking you a question. You can write these down or think of them in your head, but I'd like you to name 3 things this week you are grateful for. Take a few moments to consider these carefully. I will give you mine. First, my family. Second, my dogs. And thirdly, exercise. When I think of these, it makes me happy and grateful, and certainly more positive. As we enter our 3rd week of lockdown, it may feel as though things are really tough. However, I'd like you to read the poem on the screen. This time I'll read along with you. In the time of a pandemic, Kitty O'Meara. And the people stayed at home. And they read books, and listened, and rested, and exercised, and made art, and played games, and learned new ways of being, and were still. And they listened more deeply. Some meditated, some prayed, some danced. Some met their shadows, and the people began to talk differently. And the people healed. And in the absence of people living in ignorant, dangerous, mindless and heartless ways, the earth began to heal. And when the danger passed, and the people joined together again, they grieved their losses, and made new choices, and dreamed new images, and created new ways to live and heal the earth fully, as they had been healed. Consider how this poem made you feel. I particularly love the journey it takes you on. And then in the middle, the turning point really makes you feel like there are lots of positives to come from our current circumstance. For all of you listening, there is lots to be positive about. The poem reminds us of all the ways we can occupy ourselves and turn this lockdown into something really positive. Use this time to reflect on the possibility of new beginnings and the potential that has. Finally, the last picture on your screen is one that always makes me smile. It's of police officers in Spain during the first lockdown last year, singing to all the families in the houses. Stay safe, everybody, and stay positive.
Hello everybody and welcome to the 3rd Commitments Lockdown Challenge, and what we'd like you to do this time is to find out who inspires you. So what we'd like you to do is to produce a poster or PowerPoint presentation on somebody who inspires you. Now, as it says, this can be a celebrity, a family member, or somebody indeed that you know. Right, it's entirely up to you who you choose. I'd like to sort of include what qualities they have, what's been their lifelong journey, did they have any struggles when they were younger, how did they overcome them? What are they doing now? Have they influenced people? Do you want to be like them in the future? So produce that PowerPoint presentation or that poster, and once again send that in to challenge@beaconhillacademy.org.uk. I look forward to seeing who those people are that inspire you and want to make you better yourselves.
Hello Year 9, it's Mr. Tennant here, and this week I really wanted to start on a positive note. Now, there are many of you that have been doing some absolutely excellent learning from home, and some of your teachers have shared some of this work with me, show me how well you are doing, and I'm not going to name drop anybody on the assembly. However, there are some absolutely insane examples of some home learning. I literally couldn't believe it when I saw it. Absolutely fantastic. To those of you that know that that is you, well done guys, absolutely massive well done. Now that brings me on to our new commendation system. There is going to be a new merit system put in place, which essentially is going to be called e-merits, and these are going to be merits that are handed out to you, obviously in an online version as opposed to physically putting it in your planners. And these are going to be given for people that go over and above. They absolutely smash their work, do it really well, put the effort in, show resilience, and mainly just come out with successful outcomes. Obviously, guys, they're going to be coming into play. I mean, they're live now, but you'll probably notice over the next week or so those happening. I really would absolutely love those in Year 9, you know, as a team, really, to try and get as many as we can. Absolutely, as I've mentioned before, I'm a competitive guy. I would absolutely love my year group to go and be successful at stuff. And if Year 9 managed to get the most, I don't know, there's no competition, by the way, but I would just love it anyway. It's a good thing to go towards, guys, and if we can work together, absolutely, we'll be successful because we're getting merits. So let's get that done. Now, I briefly mentioned the word resilience that you can see in the middle of your screen, which, as you can see, is an ability to recover from or adjust easily to misfortune or change. Now, putting it in a little bit more of a simple way, essentially, it's just when the going gets tough, you desperately need to make sure that you are putting in the effort, being resilient to get out the other side. So it's when things are kind of difficult, when you feel like you've reached a little bit of a block in the road, it's how you deal with that situation to make sure that you get a successful outcome. That is resilience. And honestly, with the online learning, you're going to have to apply that quite often. You know, everybody's done it. We open up our page, we click on the link, something's wrong with it, you can't get it open, you're stressing because your live lessons going on. You got to be resilient. And of course, guys, it mainly comes down to when you're working, you haven't got your teacher with you to help you. In these situations, it's very much a case of, right, how am I going to sort this situation out? I'm going to be resilient. I'm going to make sure that I come out of this and it's a successful outcome either way. That is what we need, guys. And to be fair, I think the word resilience and the attitude on generally, you know, if you have that resilient attitude, going into later life, into college, into university, and generally just every day as an adult, you're going to need to be resilient. And I do find the more resilient you are, the more success that you will get at the end. That's pretty straightforward to see, I think. Now, guys, final thing from me. Let's obviously look at these bullet points towards the right, and we need to make sure we are still engaging with our lessons. I know, guys, that many of you are doing absolutely brilliantly. However, I'm sure if we're honest with ourselves, there are some of us who could do a little bit better. We need to keep up the engagement, and that ties into the routine as well. I mentioned briefly last week, make sure you stay in a routine. Let's still, you know, have a time to get up, have a time to go to bed, and keep a bit of normality in what is, you know, a pretty crazy world at the moment with another lockdown again, of course. It's important we keep our routines, guys. And of course, make sure you stay positive. That's always the way that we need to do things. I genuinely believe that if you're resilient and if you keep a positive mindset, it doesn't matter what life throws at you, you can get through it and you will get through it successfully. I'm 100% sure of that. Now, massive well done again, guys. Really happy with loads and loads of you. Do keep up the good work, and I will speak to you very soon.